Welcome to the Crypto Market Minute. I'm Doug. Let's get to the charts.
So today I thought we might go into a little more in-depth analysis just so we can cover a few topics. So as you can see, I'm starting here with Bitcoin's weekly chart. Now, obviously we're trying to figure out, what are the probabilities of things happening. So you can see we're in this kind of a little sloppy sideways pattern here for the last several months, more than that, actually almost a year now. So we get these wild whips up and we'll get them back down. We had a nice uptrend here for several months, and now we've been in a nice downtrend. And then really since kind of the beginning of the year, we've been in this sloppy sideways pattern here, this sideways channel, and we're sitting down here at the bottom. So what is the most likely thing to happen? Well, this is why technical analysis can be so complicated. So we have to figure out, number one, we've been down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row. This is a weekly chart. And so we would expect some type of a bounce, especially since we're sitting down here on a support level. So these lows are getting higher each time, which is a positive thing. But the highs, though they're a little bit higher every time, we're not really breaking any significant things. We haven't even broken this previous pivot here. So right now, it's just a wait and see game. It's like everybody's nervous because of all of the things going on in the world between, wars in Ukraine and inflation and gas prices and just a lot of uncertainties. So nobody's really willing to bet the farm on anything yet. But there are some things that can change that. First of all, when we're talking about trading, when we're talking about the markets, most people aren't day traders sitting in front of their computers just watching things develop day after day. Usually they'll have systems in place because the modern trading systems are so advanced that you can go in and you can set stops and you can set automated orders. So let's just look at this chart here. Where do you think the automatic stops are set on this chart? So my initial thought would be, if I'm in a long-term trade, if I've bought this, I'm going to come in, I'm going to set a stop here. Some people who maybe are willing to let it run a little bit more, they may come and put their stops down here. And what's that number? 30,000. So Bitcoin, if I'm there, I may get my stop set here, $29,000, $30,000 below these lows. So what happens if the candles come down here and break those lows? Well, we're automatically going to trigger these stops, which means that's bad. So if they start triggering stops, all these sell orders are automatically generated, and then everything goes to hell in a handbasket. Now, you have to then look at the chart. Well, if it broke through here and it broke through here, where is the most likely place for this thing to go? Well, if you look at the chart, these are pretty clean candles all the way, so we're not going to get much resistance here, or support isn't going to be found here because it was pretty much a clean straight move up. So the first level of overlap that we get to is down here about 20K. You get this little bit of overlap here. Now, in my mind, do I think we're going to go to 20K? I really don't, but that isn't based on the charts. That's based on other factors that my mind is factoring in. And again, we don't want to have too many things outside of the charts come in and factor our analysis because that's all subjective. We want to try to be objective traders. And if I just look at the price charts, if we break below this level of support here and we break through this level of support here, the only logical place for it to go is right here. And even though I find it hard to believe that Bitcoin could get back down to $18,000, if we break these two major support levels, that's the next place for it to logically go. So that's what we talk about when we're trying to look at our analysis here. We want to try to be objective, just look at the price and the volume. And that leads me to my next chart that I want to show you to. Let's flip over to the ADA chart. Now here we're looking at the ADA hourly chart. And one of the things that I wanted to point out, you've heard me talk about capitulatory volume now. And I want you to look at this. So this is an hourly chart, hourly bars. So yesterday we had this bar come in, multiple bars down, and this bottoming tail red bar here, look at the volume and compare the volume on this bar to every other bar all the way through as far as the chart goes back. That's what we call capitulatory bottom. Now, that's just one piece of information. That's something that I obviously have been looking for. We wanted this thing that everybody that wants out gets out. That's just a throw up. Blech, everybody pukes out. Those usually set bottoms. But that's just one piece of information. So if we go back here to the daily chart, then we can see even with that capitulatory volume on that one bar on the hourly chart, that's really not capitulatory bottom on the daily chart. So you can see back here, we're still very low volume here compared to a lot of these other days. Here on the daily chart, you see this bottoming tail after an extended rundown. That is good capitulatory volume. And of course, the price bounced from there. But with the overall weakness in the market, it took several days for this thing to turn around and actually get some momentum to go. So am I saying we've reached the bottom of the market here? I am not. But I'm saying these are the clues that we're looking for when we're looking at where we think this thing's going to go, to put the probabilities on our side. So right now, we are at the lows here. We have not set in any huge volume. So I don't know that we are at the bottom yet. If we break below here, if we kind of crunch this up so we can go back and see where it would go. Well, now that we're sitting down here at these bottom support levels, so if we break through here, then the next logical place this thing's gonna stop is down here at this area here, which we're looking at about 40 cents. So obviously, don't want it to break down to 40 cents because that's a big drop. But again, we don't want our wants and desires to influence our analysis. So if we break through these lows here and we're unable to hold, the next logical place is going to be down here about the 40-cent area where all this overlap's happening here. So we'll just have to see what goes on, but there's a lot of bad news out in the world right now, and that has not just the crypto markets, but the stock markets and the bond market. All the markets are feeling the pinch of the worldwide economic events right now. So let's stay objective and let's trade wisely.
Well, that's all for this morning. As always, remember to like and subscribe. And of course, if you have questions, leave them in the comments below and we'll get back with you as soon as we can. We'll see you back here on The Grasp.